If you're a software engineer stuck in a 9 to 5 grind but are dreaming of one day becoming financially free, then this video is for you. In the next 15 minutes, I'll share the 7 biggest lessons that helped me go from a corporate code monkey to building AB Analytics, a 7-figure B2B consulting firm that made over $1.6 million in revenue in the past 4 months. Now, you might be wondering, Hugo, what does a consulting firm have to do with coding? Well, to give you a bit of context, we offer data analytics solutions to small and medium-sized businesses. Since these companies don't generally have their own data analytics teams because of budgeting issues, we use an internal software on the back end to analyze their data. And so the 7 lessons that I'm going to share with you right now are what helped me go from zero to making millions faster than I ever thought was possible. Let's start with the first and probably the hardest lesson that I actually had to learn. You see, I used to think that wealth was either inherited or the result of shady deals. Growing up in a post-Soviet country where most of the wealth was held by corrupt oligarchs, this was the natural conclusion for me. And it was easy to believe that only the lucky or dishonest got rich. But everything changed when I stumbled upon a website called livecounter.com that actually showed how much money Bill Gates was making in real time. I'm pretty sure the website still exists, so you can check it out yourself. But I washed as I saw Bill Gates make thousands of dollars in mere seconds. And at first, I couldn't believe it. I thought, there's no way this is true. But after some research, I realized that it was in fact true. Then in 2022, I read a statistic that said 88% of millionaires are business owners. At the time, keep in mind that I was already a software engineer. I already had my degree in electrical and computer engineering. I already had my experience from NASA, and I was already climbing the corporate ladder. From the outside, everything looked great. So I asked myself, well, what's the difference between me and these business owners? And then I found my answer. I was stuck in endless meetings, working 70-hour weeks, and instead of getting rewarded with actual rewards, I was getting rewarded with more work. And I was shocked that I didn't even question this sooner. And I asked myself why. And I found my answer. As software engineers, we're trained to think like employees. We're given tasks to solve, code to write, and features to ship. We focus on the how, but rarely do we ever question the why. We'll search for how to solve a problem, how to optimize an algorithm, but we won't ever ask why we're solving this problem in the first place. And I realized that understanding the why is crucial. The why leads you to the how, but the how doesn't always lead you to the why. This lesson took me years to learn, but it was actually the turning point for my business as well as my life. Once I started questioning the why, I knew I had to make a change. And as a result, I decided to quit my job. Before AB Analytics, I had already tried various side hustles, but I never really fully committed to any of them. I always asked myself, why choose one problem or one idea over another? What's the key factor in making that choice? And in trying to answer this question, I learned my second lesson, leverage. The concept of leverage is often misunderstood. People think it only applies to business, but all of us use leverage in our daily lives. So ordering takeout instead of maybe cooking, using a calculator for a math problem, asking a friend for a referral, using ChatGPT to help us with something. These are all forms of leverage. And we subconsciously understand leverage on the small micro scale, but we struggle to apply it to business and the bigger picture, which is the macro scale. And leverage is what actually allows Bill Gates to make more in 9 seconds than most people do in a week. And that same exact leverage can actually be used by anyone, you included. When it comes to business, leverage comes in 4 forms: content leverage, code leverage, capital leverage, and labor leverage. For me, creating a software that could analyze data for multiple clients was a form of code leverage. It actually allowed me to serve many customers without a proportional increase in effort. So by actually understanding and applying this leverage, it was a complete game changer for me as well as my business. It meant that now my efforts could be multiplied, leading to exponential growth rather than just the linear ones that I was used to. And now that I actually understood the power of leverage, I needed to apply it. But how? And the answer to that question brings us to our third lesson. You see, learning to apply leverage is actually very similar to budgeting. You first need to be aware of how much money you are making a month to actually be able to budget it according to your expenses. So be it your rent, your transportation cost, your food, whatever the case. Similar to leverage, we need to know what resources we have to be able to properly utilize them. And I call this the unique advantage, a combination of your physical location, your network, as well as your experience, including both your technical and life experiences. The lesson that I learned here was to truly utilize leverage and make sure that I actually got the most out of my time. I needed to be aware of all the resources that I had to actually make my decisions, i.e. my unique advantage. So I decided to write down all the people that I knew and how they could be of help to me, all my technical and live experiences, as well as everything else my location had to offer me that I maybe wasn't aware of in the first place. And turns out after I put everything into writing and I did a little bit more research, I had a lot more resources available to me than I initially thought. And furthermore, I realized just how poorly I was using some of my resources. I had businesses local to me that I was simply ignoring. I had a chamber of commerce in my own city that I wasn't even aware of. I had many people in my network that could be of help to me that once again I was simply ignoring. And last but not least, I had a lot of skills and experiences that I picked up throughout the course of my life that I simply wasn't utilizing properly. And this is most likely the same exact case for you. So I decided to make a plan to incorporate my unique advantage in forming a proper business. And that is how AB Analytics was born. A business completely tailored to my unique advantage. And I remember when I first started AB Analytics, I wasn't really making any money for the first few months. I remember the only clients that I actually managed to get were ones that I said I would work for free. And in my Fortune 500 days, I remember seeing just how useful data analytics really was. So when I realized that small and medium-sized businesses didn't have a dedicated data analytics teams, I thought that my offer would be a no-brainer for these businesses. But lo and behold, this was definitely not the case. And while I was convinced that our advanced algorithms and cutting-edge technology would be enough to attract paying clients, it simply wasn't. Thinking who wouldn't want the most sophisticated analytics tools wasn't enough. Because despite all of this, I struggled to close deals. Then, something very unexpected happened that completely opened my eyes. You see, I would occasionally stop by a favorite bakery of mine for pastries, and over time, I noticed that the owner would often give me extra items for free. Bone cheeks, breads, and other goods. And at first, I thought that they were just being friendly. So out of humility, I asked firmly for them to stop. But then they told me that they were giving away unsold goods that would otherwise go to waste. So I decided to dig a bit further and realized that they consistently overproduced baked goods to avoid running out during busy periods. And this eventually led them to having excess inventory, which meant lost revenue. So it dawned on me that this was actually a demand forecasting problem, which was something I could solve. I offered to help them analyze their sales data to better predict customer demand. And this one simple experience taught me that before you even consider making a solution, you need to understand your customers as well as you would understand your partner. Just a little less intimate of a relationship. Because by connecting with the bakery owner on a more human level and actually understanding his daily struggles, I was able to tailor a solution that met his specific needs. It wasn't about selling a product anymore. It was all about providing value and making a difference in his business. Because I learned that people want to feel understood and valued. By connecting with your customers on a more human level, you are able to build trust and lay the foundation for long-term partnerships. For a lot of you watching this, what you can take away is the following. Christmas is coming up and you have to get presents, right? Most often than not, the best gifts that you're going to get are going to be for those that you know personally, because you can personalize the gift because you know exactly what that person might want or what they might need. And business should be the same exact way, except instead of a gift, you are creating a solution. So, understanding your customers essentially means you can give them the best solution. And in my case, understanding our customers better naturally led to the next insight, specifically how I presented our services to them. You see, in the early days, I made the mistake of focusing on the features of our service way too much. I'd go into great detail about our data models, processing speeds, and all the technical jargon that I was simply excited to talk about as a software engineer. I thought that by showcasing our advanced capabilities, this would impress the clients. But I noticed that they simply did not care. I realized that clients don't care too much about features. They care about results. Results are everything to them. So I decided to shift our marketing to focus more on outcomes. By highlighting the benefits and tangible results, just like we did with the bakery, we started to connect with what clients actually wanted. And this made our services much more appealing and desirable to various businesses that we were reaching out to. We started using real-world examples and case studies to show how our solutions had helped businesses save money, increase sales, and even improve efficiency. A very important lesson was learned here. Clients buy results, not products. They are in a state of pain and want to be in a state of less pain or no pain. And this gap between them is where your solution comes into play. The marketing should all be about how you can get them from point A to point B. But to actually effectively communicate these outcomes, I first had to get my own discomfort with selling, which brings me to the next lesson. You see, as a software engineer, I used to dislike selling. It felt like a chore to me, something that took me away from the real work of coding. But then I realized that if I truly believed in the value of what I was offering, I had a responsibility to share it with other people. Similar to how a doctor has a duty of caring for their patients, I, as a business owner, had the duty of caring for my clients. Selling isn't about tricking people into buying something that they don't need. It's the exact opposite. It's all about communicating the value of your solution to those who can actually benefit from it. And by benefit, I mean genuinely benefit from it. And once I embraced this mindset, I became a lot more confident and enthusiastic in my sales meetings. Clients could actually sense my genuine excitement and belief in my own solution, which made them more inclined to actually work with me as well as the rest of my team. And this actually leads us to the final lesson. As software engineers, we love to focus on improving our technical skills, right? We want to learn how to write better code, learn new tools. But while these skills are important, I learned that they can only take you so far in business and actually in your personal career itself. You see, if you truly want to greatly increase your income and impact on the world, you need to learn skills outside of your technical expertise. I myself had to step out of my comfort zone and learn about marketing, sales, leadership, and planning, right? These were all skills that helped me turn a great product into a very successful business. For example, understanding marketing helped me actually explain the value of our services to our potential prospects. Learning leadership skills allowed me to build and manage a team that could grow our operations. And studying finance and planning helped me make smarter decisions that moved the company forward while minimizing risk. So while technical skills were the starting point, it was definitely the mix of technical and non-technical skills that truly drove my success as a person as well as our success as a business. So the lesson learned was this: don't limit yourself to just technical abilities. Spend time developing a wider range of skills. The most successful entrepreneurs, I should even say the most successful software engineers, are those who combine the technical know-how with actual business skills. So, to recap, these are the 7 lessons that transformed me from a 9-to-5 software engineer into the founder of a multi-million-dollar consulting firm. Lesson number 1, focus on the why, not the how. Lesson number 2, leverage is your best friend. Lesson number 3, identify your unique advantage. Lesson number 4, understand your customers on a more personal level. Lesson number 5, market outcomes, not products. Lesson number 6, think of selling as your duty and responsibility. And lesson number 7, develop skills beyond your technical expertise. And to leave you off with a bonus lesson, I want you to remember that you are your own worst enemy. Ask yourself, how many books have I read this year? How much time have I actually spent in learning new information? Have I maybe been too quick to give up on myself? Maybe specific ventures that I tried? Am I maybe overthinking too much and not being action-oriented? While the journey of entrepreneurship isn't easy, it's definitely simple and is definitely worth it. The only person standing between you and your goal is you. So take these lessons to heart and actually start applying them in your own life. Challenge yourself to step out of your own comfort zone. And remember, every single successful entrepreneur all started somewhere. So why not be the next successful example? Go ahead and actually share which lesson resonated with you the most in the comments down below. And until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep pushing boundaries. As always, Thank you for watching.